Hi, and welcome to our discussion on creating a resume. A resume is a document that lists your qualifications, skills, and experience. Basically, it tells the employer about you and your abilities. Ideally, a resume should be 1 to 2 pages in length and should never be more than 3. If you have a third page, make sure you don't place any important information on it. On average, an employer may spend as little as 10 seconds reading your resume, after which they'll remember only 60% of the information from the front page, 40% from the second page, and may not have even read the third page. This is why it's so important to reduce any unneeded information by only listing things from the past 5 to 10 years that are relevant to the job you're applying for. Now let's talk about layout. When deciding what layout to use, there are 2 things to consider. The first is the order in which you put your information. Some people put their skills first, others put their employment history. You have to decide what information you want to draw attention to and go with that. The most important information should be placed at the front of your resume, and then work backwards in decreasing order of importance. The second thing to consider is that decoration should never overpower the document or draw the reader's eyes away from information. When it comes to colours, a splash of colour can make your resume stand out, but I think it's better to err on the side of caution and stick with black and white. If colours aren't used properly, they can make your resume look unprofessional and distract the reader from information. And you don't want that. Borders can be useful in splitting up the document, but keep them simple. Simple borders take up less page space, and they do the job of separating sections without making it difficult to read. When you're listing details such as skills or employment responsibilities, bullet points can be a useful tool. They are easy to read and stand out amongst the other information on the page. Text should be easy to read. A fancy font with lots of flair looks nice, but it can be difficult to read. The size of your text is also important. It may be tempting to use a smaller font to fit more on the page, but if you can't read it, what's the point? 12 point is good for normal text, and 14 to 16 point is good for headings. Remember, your resume is not a book, so make sure you have white space between each entry and each section. If your resume is difficult to read, the employer won't know why they should hire you. Now you know how to format your resume, we'll move on to what you should include. Your resume should include your name and contact details, your career objective, a list of your skills, your employment history, your education history, your relevant special achievements, your professional memberships or associations, your interests, and your referees. Your name should always be placed at the top of your resume, with your contact details placed on the line below. This will make it easy for the employer to identify who you are and how they can contact you. Your contact details should include your phone number, your email address, and your postal address. Centering your name and contact details in the middle of the line will make them stand out. Your career objective is a summary of your current employment goals. It shouldn't be too long. Roughly around 1 to 2 sentences is a good length. Think about the type of job or industry you want to work for and what you can do for the employer. The employer cares more about what you can do for them than what they can do for you. So when writing your career objective, avoid talking about what you want and instead talk about what the employer will gain by hiring you. For example, to obtain a position as a customer service associate where I can utilize my friendly personality and skills in situation analysis to get the maximum level of satisfaction from customers and improve the company's reputation. Your skills highlight to the employer what you can do and what your strengths are. When listing your skills, make sure they're relevant to the job. You may be an excellent cook, but unless you're applying for a job in the food industry, it won't be relevant. For more information on a particular job, check the responsibilities using the link in the 2015 job guide that I placed in the article. Your employment history shows your previous experience. Each job you list should include the job title, the month and year that you started and finished, the company's name, and a list of 2 to 3 of the job's responsibilities. Make sure that the jobs you list have some relevance to the job you're applying for. They don't have to be from the same industry, but they should have transferable skills or similar responsibilities. Remember, don't go overboard. If you have a lot of jobs to list and need to save space, cut them back to those from the past 10 years. Your education history is similar to your employment history. List each relevant educational course that you've completed. Each course listed should include the name of the qualification or course, the year you completed it, the name of the educational institution you studied at, and the suburb of the educational institution. Remember to keep it relevant. Your achievements can be used to show the employer an area in which you've excelled. Maybe you broke a sales record in your last job, or received an award for excellent customer service. List things that will help show your skills and demonstrate how valuable an employee you are. Professional memberships may be an industry organisation, such as the Australian Computer Society, or a charity organisation you're involved with on the weekends. Only list organisations that you feel will add credibility or value to your resume. Your interests can help show the employer your personality. The problem is, listing interests can do more harm than good if you list the wrong things. This is why this section's optional. When listing interests, don't list any responsibilities of the job. The employer knows you're interested in those tasks, otherwise you wouldn't be applying for the job. Listing activities such as watching TV or playing Xbox are also bad choices. They're boring and give the negative impression that you sit around a lot and don't do much. Referees are an important part of a resume. They are people the employer can call to verify what you claim and find out what type of person you are. Referees can be almost anyone, but the best people to use are professional referees. Those that you've worked with in some capacity and know what you're like. They might be a past employer or a co-worker, someone you've volunteered with, or if you're young, perhaps a teacher. When listing referees, you shouldn't use family. They will have trouble being objective and the employer will know this. Unless you've worked for them, they won't know what you like to work with anyway. You should list 2 referees, and for each referee, list their name, their job title, the company they work for, and their contact number or email. It's important to ask a person's permission before you place them on your resume as a referee. This allows you to check if they are okay with being contacted and what they'll say to the employer. So now you have an idea of how to build a resume. To assist you further, I've included 3 links to some resume templates at the bottom of the article. You can use these files to get a feel for how they display their information and get an idea on how you want to display yours. Building a resume is always a compromise between having an accessible and easy to read resume and making your resume stand out from the pack. When you achieve a balance between the two, you'll have a great resume. As always, if you want any of the information talked about in this video, check out the article on Let's Get Working, which contains everything we've discussed. Until next time, have a good day.